Hey there guys, and welcome back to another Factorio Reddit discussion, Reddit Weekly. And we are back here, going to go through the top posts in the last week, and we'll just hop right into it. There's some decent factory ones, some cool little things that I actually didn't even know about, a couple like fan creation things, I think, at least one. And yeah, so most efficient belt swapping technique. I don't know if this is like one of those silly jokes or not. Okay, so I'm confused. What am I missing? They're literally just, okay, yeah, it's obviously being sarcastic. So they're taking the plate and then turning it into miners to mine it rather than just smelting it. Thanks, I hate it. Why doesn't this exist? Yeah, so basically this person's asking for like valve inserters where they can like go sideways or whatever. And based on what I've heard, the reason the devs haven't done that is because they feel it would take away from the complexity and puzzle of the game. I mean, it could be said, of course, that, you know, also would add some new things to the game. But I don't know. I mean, there's pros and cons for sure. But yeah, so Bob's adjustable inserters will definitely do that. I think there's like a standalone mod too that does something like this. But yeah. So there's that. Simplicity is the best solution. Wow. So this apparently is one of these running jokes, like these things. Well, at least it works. Okay, same type of deal. So this is actually really cool. This is by the same person who did a lot of these other really cool, like the speed test thing for how fast you can go. So we're actually gonna watch this because I didn't. This is the thing I was talking about. I actually didn't know this was a thing. So let me go ahead and mute this. He does actually have voice, but basically, if the reactor heats up enough, it'll explode when it's destroyed. So he's creating nuclear mines in vanilla. I legitimately didn't know this was a thing, that if they're hot enough and you destroy them, they actually create a nuclear explosion. This is pretty awesome. Is this how in-game looks like? Yeah, so this is super cool. It's a super expensive way to like create defense, but you know, if you have the resources and want some fun, definitely interesting thing to do there. Maximum belt crossing efficiency. Oh my god. This actually looks like really kind of cool, to be honest. It looks like really unique. Bucka's left one tile before carrying on right at the very bottom, so you've wasted 2 belt, and the path is now 2 belts longer. Nearly maximum efficiency. I never really thought of doing it this way. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Here we go. If pet is available in Factorio, Chief Keith. Like having the bots like feed it and take the pet for a walk. Sometimes I bet you wish you could do that in real life, huh? Just have like a robot like take your dog for a walk. Bots are pets. Prefer a tiny bite or keep it like a dog though. After enough evolution kicks in, it grows huge, but still a dog-like attitude. That would actually be really cool. If you could like somehow like tame a biter and then have it like grow up. It's like having a single bot that never needs recharging. Yeah. Well, I guess we're doing these now. Oh, yeah. See, this is like one of those trends that I never understood like why this is actually interesting, but that's just me. Anyone build so much concrete you need to put up government ads about it? Regional concrete installation, value 1.2 billion, complete fall 2018, 19,000 new jobs. Dude, is like related to this sign. That is a ton of... That's actually a ridiculous amount of concrete. Can you imagine the pollution spread on this? That's actually pretty ridiculous. Mint to meme worked out anyway. That does actually work. Actually, that's an interesting way of doing it that I hadn't really thought of. That's actually... Wow, that's actually pretty creative. I hadn't really thought of exporting like that. Where's the input? The robot hands put things on belts. They always put the thing far. Sometimes you want things close. Helps put the... Yeah, okay, so... I mean, you wouldn't need a splitter to do this, but it's a pretty interesting way of doing it. Hold up, late game base overrun, doomed to restart. Okay, so I'm trying to figure... They inherited the base from someone who was concerned it was doomed. This is my story. As my surrounding materialized into focus... Okay, so this is like a whole story. I'm not going to read all this. So, yeah, they're like getting overrun by biters and stuff here, basically. Interesting. This reminds me of the, what was it called? Like, Toxic Jungle, I think? That was going on quite a while ago. I say quite like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like the Toxic Jungle post this person was making where they, like, basically created, like, a Kashyyyk world and stuff. And then, like, had to, like, fight their way through. It was actually really interesting. All I wanted was a full belt of cars, but now I'm just sitting here mesmerized by the clouds. Holy crap. Yeah, you can actually see the clouds on the belts. Dude, how many... This is a ridiculous amount of iron belts. This has got to be, like, 60-something? 64? Now I really want to try it, putting the iron in the belts or in the cars on the belts. That is ridiculous. So all this iron just to make... Wow. All this iron just to make one belt worth of cars, I think. Wiki, stepping down as head admin of the Factorio Wiki. Oh no. Gongster, I remember him. Yeah, he was one of the head admins of the Factorio Wiki for some time, along with Bilka. So yeah, I guess his life commitments changed and he has to step down. That's really a shame. But I mean, obviously his life needs to take priority. But they've done an amazing job. The wiki is like a super resourceful place. Definitely really, really good job on their part. Made my first perfect ratioed solar panel setup. Yeah, that's not bad. It kind of annoys me that it's not like symmetrical at all, but that's just me. This is actually making perfect ratioed solar layouts is actually really quite difficult. It's that like look even halfway decent and don't have just like gaps everywhere and stuff. It's really quite a challenge. I built one a long time ago and it took me several hours. Just when I thought I was safe from loss. So, seriously, just use splitters. Oh yes, this I think is where it all started. The like transferring things to the other side super inefficiently. I'm pretty sure this is where it all started. Was this post? Like, oh my goodness. And I mean, they obviously know how to use priority splitters too. Okay, so this is one of the highlights of this. Daniel V, who made the Castorio mod, who we did a series on, he posted this. He isn't actually the author of the mod. I believe it's Godmave. Godmave. Made this. This is a work in progress train tunnel mod. It's like the first one, really, So a few words. This is pretty much just a proof of work for myself. I had the basic functions lying around from my work on the train teleport stuff for Clastorio. The current plan, pending a lot more testing, is to allow for both automatic and manual driving. You stay in the train and move with it to another surface. In theory, it should work. In practice, there are many edge cases to capture and handle, so don't hold your breath for a short-term working mod, but I might post more work in progress videos while working on it. So this thing, we actually don't even need to open it here. This thing is super cool. I mean, it's pretty much a tunnel. So if you just imagine this with like actual like graphics for like a tunnel or whatever, I mean, it's like almost perfect. I mean, obviously this is just a very basic use case in this example, but like, I mean, it pretty much looks like going through a tunnel, right? That is super cool. I really hope he manages to get this done because, I mean, obviously tunnels is something that a ton of people have wanted for a very long time. This is really, really awesome. I did it. Nice. All these people, I guess people just like try to knock out a ton of achievements like all together when they launch a rocket. Because, I mean, like, well, when I did my first, it wasn't even a rocket silo, technically. When I beat the game the first time, there were no achievements. But it seems like everybody who like posts these things gets all these achievements at once. And it's like, I don't think they get these by accident. So, oh yeah, centrifuge next to the silo is pretty cool. It's, congrats to this person. Friday Facts. I got the game 3 days ago, and today I spent almost 2 hours creating this monster. Produces red and green science packs and can support up to 12 labs. So proud. Hey. It's small, but that's pretty nice, dude. I mean, if you look at pure efficiency, it's not great, but like, that's not what this is about. This is actually, this is like, I mean, it's really nice to look at. I mean, it's mostly like symmetrical this way. It's actually a really nice little setup. Yeah, this, like, for a new player, this is obviously a new player. So, I mean, they only got the game 3 days ago. For a new player, this is extremely impressive. I sure as hell was not building stuff like this after 3 days. I'm pretty sure I lost my first game, like, in the first day. Yeah, 20 science packs per minute is pretty decent, like, to start with. This is actually really impressive. Man, I wish I could build like this when I was a new player. Sometimes I struggle to build like that now. There's nothing quite as satisfying as fixing a bottleneck. Oh yeah, gotta love this. When you fix that bottleneck and look at the production and it just levels out and stuff, it's such a good feeling to look at that on the graph. A simple trick to increase production speed by over 20% took me a few hundred hours of gameplay to find it. Let's see if we know this. If you place a beacon like left side where they align with assembler fully beaconed, you get 4.25 speed. If you unalign them, like right side, each assembler will be 5.5 fully beaconed. He'll still, so pretty much just staggering the beacons. I mean, we all know that. Well, I shouldn't say we all. We all, meaning like me and the Mega Basers, know this. But it's like, I mean, I don't blame. I mean, I didn't know this for a really long time too. This is, it's not intuitive. Like, unless you're really messing with the placement of beacons, like there would be nothing that would make you think, oh, let me just offset these. You know, obviously if you're messing with it a lot, you can just look and be like, oh, well, you know, if I move these over, it could be hit by more. But unless you're really doing that, you know, intuitively, you know, there's nothing that really would let you know that you need to be offsetting these. But yeah, so if you didn't know, guys, if anyone didn't know, this is what you need to do for max 8 beacon. Obviously, 12 beacon is a different setup, but for max 8 beacon coverage, to get 5.5 speed on Assembler 3, or just to get max speed with 8 beacons on anything, you need to offset them like this, so that they're not quite aligned. Pretty much the easiest way to do it is if you place down whatever it is, like an assembler, you just take one beacon and place it as far to one side as you can to where it just barely hits. And then from that point, you just place the beacons in a line after that, and then the assemblers like in a line after this. So like you would have placed like this one up here, and this would have barely been touching. So then you can just place the rest of these and then place the assemblers down next to each other, and it just like works out that way. Better placement of splitters. Oh my god. They're using the train to transit around. Oh my goodness. Who needs splitters? Dude, this thing, like, this is getting out of hand, man. My kind of sushi belt. Okay. I'm not a fan of sushi belts, but as far as sushi belts go, I actually really like this one. Yeah, this is my kind of sushi belt too. Because it's like organized sushi, right? I mean, it's like a top of the line restaurant sushi, where it's like just every other. I can't stand the things where it's like sushi belts with just everything mixed together. I mean, visually, at least, this visually is actually really appealing, almost more so than just a solid line of them. To be honest, this is really nice. I quite like this. I wonder if they said like how they achieved that. I think basically I start with one half of a belt being full with red science and make a circle out of it. Let's watch a GIF of the principle. Okay, I see. So yeah, they're kind of just allowing gaps here. Because they're splitting it, which is obviously going to allow that gap because half's being split off. They send it back through and then they can merge it here. That's actually really... I would probably not have thought to do it that way. That's actually really interesting. Also, I did want to really quick look at the comments for this beacon thing. See if anyone else has some good suggestions for this. Finger beacon's off by 1. Yep. Symmetry lovers hate him. With one simple trick, you can increase your beacon production by over 20%. Click here. Because there are more beacons affecting. Yeah, so when you stagger them, it just allows more to affect it, pretty much. But I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. Not quite as exciting as last time. A lot of it filled with just these same like meme posts, which loses its interest after like the first one. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts below. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.